These are a few of the planes that have passed through my hands. Oh, that was a early Spears panel plane with a little tiny adjuster. Oh, here it is again. Well, these three pictures, probably Spears, the same plane, no bun, damage, Stanley iron, all this, that and the other. And that's when I finished it, restored it. Very rare Spears skew-mouthed shoulder plane, dovetail, brass and steel. There's not many of those about, 2 or 3 I believe. Sarah's penknife. A very rare Spears chariot plane, making it very rare because it had a fixed bridge, not a lever cap and screw. There's that plane I mentioned in the other video, the original, beautiful patina on it. This is a rare Matheson, and that's the Spears again. That one's, I think it's Marples. Oh, that's one I made. Norris. This one is by Mosley and Son. Quite a rare plane that went to Australia. Oh, there's the adjuster on the Spears. Just took the blade forward and backwards. Very crude, but very little known about that. I don't think it's mentioned in Nigel's book. Oh, these are rare Matheson. They're all different. Notice the screws. Some are dovetailed and some are cast. They're extremely rare. They were in one collection at one time. Not mine, although I did own the odd one. This is one of the prettiest planes. This is a Matheson out of the same collection. One of the prettiest planes to hold you can imagine. It was absolutely gorgeous. I found this in David Stanley's tool cabin on a shelf. I think it was £1. It was made of oak. A very early plane. There's the Matheson again, and the rare Spears. Norris A6. That was by Miller, I think. Yeah, J. Miller. One of my favourite all-time planes. I've owned that a few times. I don't own it at the moment. Belongs to David Stanley. This is one that somebody told me about for sale at Bristol Design. Somebody in Australia spotted it, told me about it. It said it's just very similar to yours. I said, don't be daft, mine's a one-off. A year later it was still for sale, and he told me again, and he was right. It's made by the same person. In fact, it's got the same piece of wood in the front infill out of the same piece, I noticed. The handle I don't think was original, and it was broken, very badly broken. So I took it off in the end. I think I actually, at a later date, I put another handle in it. I'm sure I did. Well, that's a Matheson. That was a magnificent plane. It was quite wide, made to special order, I believe. That's unfortunately in America. Oh, it was a gorgeous plane, that was. There's Sarah's penknife. Incidentally, that's got 3 plane makers' names on it. Marples, Sorby and somebody else, because Marples bought them out. Funny little plane. Preston gunmetal. This is It was quite a small oil stone. Somebody in America bought that, I remember. Collected Calhoun and Cadman, if that's how you pronounce it. I think it was at the time I thought it was a China forest stone, but looking at it, I've learnt now there's a Welsh stone that looks very similar, and I believe it's one of those. I think that was by Miller. This is a marbles. Look at the grain in the wood, stunning. A rare hammer I came across. This was a ginormous plane. I had it for many, many years, and I made some small wooden copies of it. It had a steel sole and a steel side to run on its side. Oh, here we go. And loads and loads of screws were holding the steel on. I think they're Carl Holty planes. There's Fred, wonderful man from London. Everybody loved Fred. There he is again. That's at a David Stanley car park on the day of a sale. Two charming looking people here. I don't know who they are. Oh, that rings a bell. These are, I found these at different times. None of them were finished. They weren't complete, and I finished them off. Two were in a terrible state as regards the wedges and that, but I put them all right. And they're all engraved with a man's name on. I think it was Wallace. And when you study how they're constructed, it really is stunning craftsmanship. They were dovetailed in brass, quite a thick sole, and then on top of the dovetailing it had a steel sole. Truly stunning work. The best work I've ever seen on planes. That was a rare Sime that got changed. It went to a collector and then it got lost. There's me wearing that jumper again that Sarah made for me. Oh, and there's the big plane in the background. It was massive. Another ugly brute. Oh, I made those. They're all mine. They were two little gold lapel badges from some regiment. They had a little tiny ruby as their eye. They were both Miller. Tiny, they're about 2 inches long, not much more, perhaps 2 1/4. Very tiny and very chunky. And that's it. Oh, no. Oh. Yeah, that's it. Just a few of the mopeds I used to be mad on scooters, and especially this mate, they're Italian. I had 16 of those. They're all like clapped out, apart from this one, and they're all alloy. And not many people know about this mate. Everybody knows about Lambrettas and Vespers. This is a German Dirkop Diana, but these, in my opinion, are absolutely stunning. I wish I'd still got that one. Here it is again. You could stand a thrumpney bit on the engine at revs. An octagonal thrumpney bit, or however many sides they had. And it won't fall over. And you can actually watch that on video in the Roomy Club. This is all solid alloy. No rust. Even the silencers on those were solid alloy. Well, this is a very early Bailey plane. I never owned this, but I know where it is and he won't part with it. And he's also got this very unusual handmade mitre plane. The construction is most peculiar. These sides are screwed onto a U-shaped piece front and back. Lovely plane. No maker's name. Oh, and that's our fireplace as it was. And if we just walk into the back room, I'll show you how it is at this moment. It changes on a monthly basis. There you go, something for you to browse.